Alright, welcome back everybody to a brand new video here on the second channel. It's now time to look at every single deck in Day 2 at the North American International Championships this year. Pretty big tournament. Now, okay, I'll be fair, Day 2 is pretty damn big. I mean, we got 390 people in Day 2. We're not going to look at every single deck, but anything that stands out past maybe like top 128 we'll look at. Because there's too many decks to go through. I don't want to be clicking through every single Raging Bolt and Dragapult and Gardevoir deck. That's like probably like the 58 same cards. But I'm super excited to dive into the Destined Rivals format. I haven't really looked at the Day 2 yet. I know there's a couple of cool decks in Day 2 already. And I don't know if actually Mewtwo made Day 2 or Typhlosion. We're going to be finding out all that within today's video. If y'all are new here to the second channel, make sure to subscribe down below. We're on the road to 24K subs. And if you want to enjoy the video, leave a like and all that good stuff. And hopefully there's some juicy decks here we can also try out for maybe some YouTube videos in the future. So, of course, looking at NAIC's results, some pretty interesting decks were in the top 8 of the tournament, including Gardevoir Dominance, which I was honestly a little surprised to see. I actually knew Gardevoir was still going to be heavily played this weekend. I figured most top players were still going to be on it. I didn't expect the deck to do as well as it did. And we did see Isaiah Bradner win his first IC with Gardevoir. And the build they played did have some interesting inclusions. Did play 4 Monkey Dory and 4 Dark Energy, really trying to capitalize on the power of Adrenabrain. 4 Monkey makes it a lot easier to beat stuff like Grimmsnarl and Dragapult. And then, of course, there is the TM Turbo Energize. Now, the whole logic behind playing this card is it allows you to put 2 Dark Energy into play, and I think the idea was that you can use this to build up your Monkey Dories a lot more quickly, so you can use Adrenabrain a lot more aggressively. In matchups where you need to set up Adrenabrain, it is good to have the ability to just get the 2 Dark in play for free, so the Turbo Energize makes a lot of sense in that regards too. Other than that, normal Guardy stuff. There's no Drifloon in here, which I guess like the other difference. This deck does not run any copies of Drifloon. Honestly, it's more of like a Monkey Dory Gardevoir deck where you're trying to utilize Monkey the most you can over having like Drifloon and stuff and any other like cute psychic type tech cards. But was able to win the IC. It actually did, of course, beat Guardy in the finals. We had that Guardy mirror match. Riley's list was a little bit different. It did play 3 monkeys, and it had Shaman in the deck to help against bench protection, had Drifloon in there, and had the Budew. So a little bit different of Pokemon choices, but still a pretty good Guardy list nonetheless. Did still play the TM Evo Arvin package we saw Henry Chow use at, what was it, or Portland or whatever. We saw the Michael Davidson Henry Chow build. So, yeah, pretty good stuff. I think Guardy is still a pretty good deck going forward. This build is also still good in a Grimmsnarl. Even though you don't play the 4 Monkey Dories, you still have Shaman, which helps a little bit, and then you have the Drifloon, which can help a little bit to knock out a Grimmsnarl maybe at the end of the game or something. We did have Tord, of course, almost make finals again at an IC with his Dragapult EX deck. Interestingly enough, Tord was playing straight pulled, no Dusknoir, which was like, I think, like the main hype for Dragapult this weekend. All the top players were talking about Dragapult with Dusknoir this weekend. There was a lot of Dragapult Dusknoir that did well, but ultimately Tord decided to play a build with no Dusknoir, opted for just double Monkey Dory and Maractus instead as like, I guess, like the cute tech cards in the deck. But, I mean, it is Tord. He did craft a pretty good 60 here. We did see the Neo Upper Energy in the deck as the ace spec as opposed to Stamp or Crystal. Neo Upper is pretty good. We saw a lot of Dragapult lists leading up to NAIC in the Destined Rivals meta using Neo Upper Energy, so I'm not surprised that Tord did stick with it for this tournament. Neo Upper does make a lot of sense in here and allows you to be a lot more aggressive with your Phantom Dives, especially when you can spread out, you don't have to attach many energies with Neo Upper. You can afford to put energy on like a Monkey Dory or something, which makes a lot of sense. Neo Upper definitely seems good. You also can't get shut off by like Jamming Tower instead of like playing Sparkling Crystal, right? So makes sense to play that in here. And we had another Guardian top 4 here. My boy Gamer Elo making top 4. Really happy to see him get a good finish here at a big IC. Yeah, also playing Gardevoir. Did not play the Shaman, but did have the Budew and the Cleffa. And had the Screamtail Drifloon package in there, too. And obviously, Triple Monkey. No Mew EX in the deck, though. I guess was like the other big difference. And no boss or anything. Just 4 Iono, 4 Research. No other, tech supporter cards. We did see Ray Chen run it back with a really good finish here. Top 8 at NAIC with the Toadscruel deck. They obviously did pretty good in Portland, and they rated back again. Toadscruel is still pretty good for this tournament because there's going to be a lot of Grimmsnarl. And Grimmsnarl, obviously, is a pretty good matchup for a deck like this. And Toadscruel is still a pretty strong deck going into this meta. I don't think it was a bad play at all. It was really cool to see Ray do so well. I mean, I think they went like 9-0 day 1 or something, which was crazy. So, yeah, Toadscruel making top 8 NAIC was not something I expected to be on my bingo card, but it was able to make the run back. Did really well, so awesome stuff to see. I don't think the list was any different, actually, from Portland. Maybe it was like one card different, actually, it says. But still, really cool to see this deck do well once again. We did have Piper making top 8 with Grimmsnarl. There's one Grim in top 8. I did expect Grimmsnarl to maybe make it to top 4, but we did see Piper make top 8 with the deck regardless. Grimmsnarl is still a really strong deck regardless of whether or not there was any thing in the format with the Shamans and stuff, and obviously, like, the Gardevoir dominance was big. I think Grimmsnarl did have a big target on its back this weekend, which probably did hurt its success a little bit, but Piper still managed to do pretty well with the deck. Herless just got the 2 of Grimmsnarl. It's got the 3 Spike Meth instead of the 2-2 split we saw with Artisan. Still the Devo in there, the Shaman going into the deck too, and only 1 Budu, no Maractus or anything like that. Just more of a straightforward little bit of approach here. So, yeah, still saw Grimmsnarl do well. One surprise I saw was a Zoroark in top 8. Okay, look, I did say in my tier list this deck is not very good this meta because Darmanitan's value plummets. Honestly, though, leading up to NAIC, I saw a lot of Zoroark hype. I saw a couple unique Zoroark lists playing Venture Bomb and stuff with no Darmanitan. And Cameron here did take a bit of a different approach. Instead of playing the heavier Darm count, he only played a 1-1 line and instead leaned a little bit more into the tank of the deck, playing the double Reshiram, the double Monkey Dory, did have the double Rigid Band in the deck too. This is probably a pretty good Zoroark list. You want to play Zoroark in this format. It's a good list to copy, I think. I think Reshiram is probably the better attacker right now to copy. I underestimated how good Zoroark was. I actually would have played this deck literally had Shaman not been printed. I was going to play Zoroark to NAIC. I really wanted to play Zoroark really badly. Like, even, not going to lie, the night before the tournament, I was literally going through my bulk that I brought with me because I left my Zoroark deck at home, but I had extra Zoroarks on me. And I was like, do I have enough Zoroarks to build a deck, or do I have to run to the venue tomorrow to pick up Zoroarks? But I just gave up. I'm like, all right, whatever. I'm not playing Zoroark to NAIC, but I wanted to, man. It's still a really good deck. I think it's really well positioned. Really depends on how many people are going to copy the winning list and stuff. Like, I mean, looking at Bradner's 60 here, Bradner does not run Shaman, right? So Darmanitan's value might return. We did see Piper play Shaman, but I think Zoroark can adapt the Shaman. Like, double Monkey Dory does obviously help a lot. And Zoroark, I think, is still pretty good to Grimmsnarl anyways. Like, I think a lot of people really underestimated how strong Zoroark was in general this weekend. We saw Stefan Ivanov play a really cool Zoroark deck. We're going to look at his list very shortly here. I think Zoroark was actually a really good card for this weekend. It's a Dark-type Pokemon. I think both Charizard and Zoroark had a very good weekend, and that's mainly because their Dark-type presence really helped. A lot of people underestimate how good Zoroark's pressure is with Reshiram. Even if you don't have that Darmanitan, you still gain access to Reshiram, which is a really good card to have in the deck because it does give you that ability to be a lot more scarier when your opponent can't one-shot your Zoroark. You have to walk into a powerful Rage Knockout. Really good against Grimmsnarl when they're mainly hitting for 180 damage, which is not enough to kill the Zoroark. We did see a Dusknoir pull. Well, actually, not really a Dusknoir pulled, a Dusclops Dragapult deck in the top 8 regardless. No Genesect or anything. Just have the Monkey Dory, the Halucha, the Latias and stuff. Still played with the Neo Upper Energy. Heavy Watchtower, too, to be a little bit more disruptive, too. And then, yeah, had that one of Dusclops. We did have a Dusknoir build here in ASIM, played by Bodhi, who played the Dusknoir build, also playing the Neo Upper Energy. So Neo Upper was the most common ace spec in the top tables this weekend for Dragapult EX. Even Tord saw the power of that card. This build does have Shaman in it, though. Still has the Latias, the Bear, the Fez, the Halucha, one of Monkey, but does have the Dusknoir in the deck and the heavier Dusclops. And we did see Ryan Antonucci with the Pulsar. Another deck I wanted to play this weekend. Pulsar was really well positioned. I think that's mainly because, again, Charizard was such a good card against Gardevoir. Pretty good against Grimmsnarl, too, weirdly enough, just because you're so strong and you're able to knock out Grimmsnarl in one hit if they're not careful. But yeah, Pulsar is a good deck. I think that if you want to play Charizard going forward, it's probably the best way to play it. I know we saw Gabe Fernandez win. I think we're going to look at Gabe's list after the top 8 here. We'll go to the seniors and juniors, and then we'll move on to the rest of the day, too. But yeah, I think Pulsar's really good, and it's still cool to see the deck do well in the tournament. Yeah, just good weekend for Dragapult all around. We had John Ang also playing the Dragapult Dusknoir build and ASIM here. Didn't play Latias, but did have the Neo Upper still. So yeah, once again, another Neo Upper Energy Dragapult list. Like, unless you're playing Charizard, you don't need it. Oops, went a little far back there. We had another Pulsar here played by Makani Tran in ASIM. I think it's the same 60 as what we saw Ryan Antonucci play. Yeah, cool stuff. So Pulsar, really good deck. Definitely still going to be good going forward. It's funny how Pulsar was good for both NAICs. There was a Flareon in ASIM too, a deck that I expected to be pretty good this weekend. I didn't expect it to be popular, but I did expect it to be fairly decent because Flareon was well positioned because you do gain access to the Leafeon, which is a great attacker. We saw this build played by Ryan was playing a Gravity Mount, which is an interesting inclusion. I think you definitely had to play 3 stadiums this weekend if you're going to play Flareon, just because of you needed to make sure you're stopping Watchtower, right? So it makes a lot of sense. Another Pulsar here in top 16. This one did have the Shiyu in the deck. Some lists were playing Shiyu as a way to counter the Goldengos and stuff. And also, it is pretty good against Teal Mask Ogrepon, which is nice to have the power for that. And a couple of Raging Bolts in top 16. Bolt was still really good. I think it was the most played deck in day 1 of the tournament. It's a broken deck. Bolt, I think, is still well positioned. I know Guardy did just win NAIC, which is not great for the deck, but I think Bolt is still a very strong deck. We saw Bradner's list didn't play Shaman, so that could have an impact on how Bolt does going forward, right? So I think Bolt's still in a good spot regardless of it not making top 8, which I think it easily could have made top 8. And we had another one, obviously, here in top 16 also. We had Stefan Ivanov playing a really unique Zork Dragapult deck here. So it is kind of a, I wouldn't really call it a hybrid because there's no Darmanitan, no Ents Castle. It's more just trying to utilize Zork as a backup draw engine, but also gives you a really cool option to use Ents PP up E-Switch as a way to power up a Dragapult out of nowhere, but also gives you an attacker against Gardevoir. Obviously, one of Dragapult's biggest weaknesses is Gardevoir EX, but when you can use End Zork and Reshiram to knock out a Gardevoir in one hit, it makes the Gardevoir matchup even more stronger. Now, is it as good as playing something like Charizard in the deck, as kind of it does the same thing? Well, Zork does have advantages over Charizard. It's a stage 1, not a stage 2, and it does give you extra draw, which is really good. It makes your deck less bricky, and also gives you kind of a pseudo Charizard engine when you're playing the Ends PP up and the energy switch to be able to build up Dragapult. So really cool innovation here from Stefan. A lot of interesting Dragapult lists here in the top 16. Well, I guess Stefan made 17th place, but still cool to see. This list is pretty awesome. I think Stefan played on stream, so if you want to see some action with the deck, you can definitely check out Stefan's stream game if you want to see how the deck works. We had another straight Bolt here. This one did not play anything too crazy. No ghosts. Did have the monkey in there, the watchtowers and stuff. The usual Bolt cards we see. If it loads here, there we go. And then we got some more Dusknoir Dragapult. Let's quickly go through these. A lot of the Dusknoir Bolt lists might look similar. Yeah, this one did play Unfair Stamp. And this one, let's see how many Neo Uppers we see. This one did have the Neo Upper in there. Okay. We had another Pulsar here. Oops, clicked on that too quick. Another Pulsar. This one had the Unfair Stamp. Same 60 we saw with all the other lists here, it looks like. So another Dusknoir Dragapult. Pretty good deck, man. Broken deck. A lot of Dragapult in top 16. And top 32, I should say, in general. A couple more Raging Bolts here, played by Fabrizio, who's playing Raging Bolt. I think Fabrizio played this to the Masters Cup that happened like the day before the tournament. We saw a bunch of like top players playing the tournament, and I think Fabrizio was playing the deck. Might have been the same 60. We saw another Raging Bolt. This one's got more one prizers. It's got the Koraidon and the Slitherwing and the Raging Bolt, so trying to lean more into the one prize attackers. We have a Guardy here, played by Rahul, same 60. Saw Bradner on. Got another straight Bolt here with the Neo Upper Energy, played by Ryuki. So Ryuki was playing the Dragapult build here with the double monkey and the Neo Upper. Actually kind of close to what Tord was playing. Not the same 60, but similar-ish. Another Dusknoir Bolt. Same list I think John was playing, yeah. All right. And then we got Sawyer playing the Guardy list. Sawyer, I think, got his invite from this tournament. He needed top 32 to get the invite. That was cool to see. It was on the Guardy. Did have the Shaman in there. Drifloon, the Screamtail, Triple Monkey, the TM Evo, and the Arven Engine also in the deck. Whoops, already saw that. We got another Grimmsnarl here, played by Tim Franklin. Was playing it alongside other players here. I mean, yeah, Grimmsnarl, pretty good. You know, we see the double Frostlass, Triple Monkey in there. No Artisan, though. I guess, like, the big difference. Did play 3 Spikemuth, though, but yeah, no Artisan. Just trying to lean more into the Spikemuth Stadium. We got Henry Chow. Obviously, was on the same 60 as Bradner and stuff here. Would have been crazy to see Henry win NAIC if it was possible. He lost the win in the Piper, I think. Another Pult here, another Pult Dusknoir, also on the Neo Upper Energy. Another Pulsar here. This one doesn't have Shiyu, but does, yeah, same 60 as what we saw Ryan playing, I guess. We should move on from that. Another Dust Pult. This one's got Unfair Stamp. We had somebody make top 32 with a very unique list here, an Ogre Box deck. Now, that's pretty cool to see. Ogre Box with the Ogre's Mask. So, it's not really a Terra Box deck because there's no Pikachu, no Terapagos. It's more or less like an Ogre Pawn Toolbox deck, right? You're trying to utilize different Ogre Pawns. Wellspring might have been okay. Honestly, like if you dodge enough Shamans, you can get a lot of value still to Wellspring in this format. You can use Teal Mask and no Crispin just to build up the Wellspring attack. It does have a Cornerstones in there. The double Clefairy obviously is really good too against Dragapult, especially if you get the Legacy Energy onto the Clefairy there. That's really cool. That's a unique deck in top 32. Another Flareon here with a 1/1 Pidgeot. I do like the idea of Pidgeot and Flareon. I was trying that out a bit. I couldn't really fit it, but yeah, the idea of Pidgeot and Flareon definitely doesn't seem bad either. I kind of like the idea of that, so it's cool. Another Guardy. This one's got Drifloon, Screamtail, the Shaman in there. The only double monkey, though. And then we got another Guardy here, played by Kyle Connor. He's also playing the Shaman, the Drifloon and stuff. Got another Dusknoir Polt with the Unfair Stamp. Another Raging Bolt here. Yep, cool stuff. All right. Let's see. More Guardy. This one, Lucas was playing the same 60 as everyone else. Kywin on Guardy 2 was playing the Cleffa still, had the Screamtail and the Drifloon. Did have a Klefki in there too, probably to help against Raging Bolt, I guess. Makes sense. I guess it comes up in other matchups too, but mostly probably against Raging Bolt's pretty good. Seems pretty good anyways. Makes sense. All right. Got another Grimmsnarl here. Another Grimmsnarl with the quad Monkey Dory. Got the Shaman, the Budu. Does have a Clef in there for extra draw, so that's cool. Another good Grimmsnarl list there to look at. And all right, we got Jisha in here, who did play Pengo to the tournament. Pengo with that one Adventure Bomb, probably against Joltik Box, to the double Poke Gear in there. Jaming Tower, Artisan still in there. Cool stuff, cool stuff. Yeah, Pengo's still pretty good. I mean, I played it. I had some pretty bad matchups, but yeah, Pengo obviously still a pretty good deck for the tournament. I'm not surprised to see it do well. And we got another Flareon here. Nothing too crazy there. Another Raging Bolt. We got more Dusknoir Dragapult. All the techs. We got another Zoark here in top 32. Okay, this was the one I was talking about. See, there's this, like, Venture Bomb, no Darmanitan build of Enzork going around. Again, Enzork is still good for the tournament. Again, even if you're not copying Darmanitan, you're still utilizing the power of Reshiram, which might be good enough. This build is kind of crazy. It's got double Janine to build up Zoark, had the Venture Bomb, had the Picnic Basket, Unfair Stamp as the spec. Very crazy list. But yeah, I mean, Enzork is still a good deck. I mean, Trade is still a great ability, regardless of whether or not you're not utilizing Darmanitan as much anymore. So that's cool. Yeah, I mean, I wish I played Zoark, man. I wish I came to the realization that, yeah, I should be playing this deck. Got a Raging Bolt here, a double Judge in the deck. Crazy stuff. Another straight Bolt here. It's got an Iron Bundle in there. Does play the Neo Upper as the spec. There's another Guardy here. It's on the Shaman, the Drifloon Screamtail. Got another Grimmsnarl here. This one's got double Maractus and a Tassigiris for a bit more consistency. No, oh, actually, there's Morgrim. I didn't see the Morgrim there. I was like, wait, where's the Morgrims at? They're not there. I'm like, oh, they were there. All right. Another Flareon. And then let's see what else we got here. Got Guardy here with the Screamtail Drifloon, the Shaman, another Raging Bolt. All right, yeah, normal stuff. Okay, cool. We had a Ho-Armor Roosh do well. See, I told you this deck was bound to do good at this tournament. I said in my predictions video that I wouldn't be surprised if somebody actually did decent with the deck. And we did see somebody do all right here with the list. It does have Hearthflame Ogerpon, which is something I haven't seen yet in the deck. Does have the Terapagos in there, the Regigigas, the Durant, Hands. No Umbreon or anything, so no Dark Attacker. But I guess like the Hearthflame kind of makes up for that because it can hit for weakness, or hit Gardevoir for 280, and then you like Monkey Dory the damage off. That's cool. So yeah, I knew Ho-Armor Rouge was bound to do good this tournament. The deck's pretty strong. It was played by Yoshi Tate, who's a pretty good player. So not surprised to see him do well with it. Another Grimmsnarl here on the one of Tassagiri. Another Grimmsnarl below that. One's got the Iron Bundle in there. Another Pengo played by Li Bui, who's been on Pengo for a while. I think it's just the same deck he's been playing, like the same list and stuff, with the double Jamming Tower, 2 Pokegear and stuff. I think he lost the win into Flareon. But yeah, cool stuff to see Pengo still do well. And then we had a Garchomp here played by Fabian. So yeah, Garchomp actually had an okay tournament run. I'm not going to lie. Didn't expect Garchomp to do this well, but it is cool to see it do well regardless. It's got the Monkeys, the Rose Raid, the double Crispin, 2 Petrol in there, and the Secret Box quad Cynthia's Power Weight. 2 Watchtower. Yeah, I like it a lot. It's really cool to see Garchomp have a good performance. The deck actually seems pretty good right now. I'm not going to lie. Like, it actually could be a pretty solid deck in our Destined Rivals meta if more people put more time into it. Got another straight pull list here with the one of Dusclops. Got the Neo Upper. Another Guardy here. Another Dragapult. The Monkey, the Shaman. A couple more Grimmsnarls here. Let's see. More Grimmsnarls, yeah. Grimmsnarl with the bear. I like the bear inclusion. The bear makes sense. We had a Walls in day 2. Whoa, wasn't expecting that. My low-tick Walls with an Iron Leaves. That's interesting. I guess Iron Leaves is there to help against Grimmsnarl, which is not a great matchup for the Walls deck. Because there isn't really any good Walls. I guess you have the Cornerstone Ogerpon. It's harder to use Cornerstone, though, when they have Monkey Dories and Frostlass. Like, you actually will end up losing your Cornerstone quicker than you think. Even though you can't, the Cornerstone or the Grimmsnarl can't hit you, you could still take a lot of damage from Frostlass, Monkey Dory. But yeah, the Leaves is cool. It's got the Leftovers in there too. Hero's Cape. Crazy to see Walls actually in day 2 here and have a decent placement. That's kind of wild. A couple more Zard pulls here. This one's got the Shiyu. This one's got the Shiyu in there also. Another Guardy here. The Drifloon Screamtail. Another Grimmsnarl with the bundle. Another straight pull. Double Monkey. Got another Pult Dusknoir here. And then below that, we got another Zard Pult. So just a lot of Dragapult shenanigans. We had another Goldengo. This one was Goldengo, no Dragapult. So Dodengo, I guess, as it's called. It's got the Watchtower in there. That's like the secret tech card. All right, cool. We had another Gardevoir below that. Lets me click on it. There we go, it's loading. Okay, there we go. This one's got Fluttermane in there. So I saw a little bit of talk of Fluttermane this weekend. It's decent against Grimmsnarl, because you can put extra damage on the board with Hex Hurl. And in some scenarios, maybe you can shut off Grimmsnarl's ability, but obviously it's not going to happen every time. Then we had another Dengo Dragapult here. And then another Flareon below that. Cool stuff. We had our first Joltik box. I thought Joltik box was going to do a bit better this tournament. It's not a bad deck. Wasn't well positioned, or was well positioned just because of all the Grimmsnarl, but High Speed Joltik wasn't as good as I thought it was. But yeah, Joltik wasn't a bad deck still for this weekend. It was pretty popular too. So there you go. We got Guardy here, played by Aiden Koos. Another Raging Bolt. What else do we got? We had a Sarah Legend day too. That's awesome to see. Sarah Ledge, Revavroom. Nice stuff. Yeah, Sarah Ledge is a cool deck. I mean, it's never going to be like broken or anything, like super BDIF or anything, but it's still cool to see it have a pretty good placement in NAIC regardless. It's not a terrible deck, right? I mean, honestly, maybe it's not even that bad. It's like Toadscruel. I mean, you do have decent matchups, I guess, if you just run stuff over. I mean, I'm assuming you beat Raging Bolt, probably beat Goldengo. You're probably even beating Dragapult pretty consistently if they're not playing the Ghosts, because they're a lot harder to handle the content threat of Dragapult. We have a Pulsar here with the Shiyu and the Watchtower. Another Guardy with a 1/1 Espathra. There's a little bit of talk of playing Espathra and Guardy this weekend. I don't know how good that is, because Espathra can be nice against the Grimmsnarl. The problem is that Flittl's 50 HP makes it very easy for TM Devo. You do have Bravery Charm, though, so you can Bravery Charm your Flittle, but I don't know how good the Espathra is. But we did see at least one here in day 2 regardless. Another Grim. More Flareon here. Another Joltik box with the 1/1 Magnetons. That's nice. Magneton can help a little bit when you're not as reliant on Joltik. Or like maybe, depending on how you spread the energy out, right? It gives you an extra attacker without needing to rely on Crispin. Another Raging Bolt. Another Pulsar. This one's got no Shiyu. Another Grim. What was this? Another Pulsar below that. All right, I was making sure. And we got another Grim below that. Okay, then we got another Grimmsnarl here. We got, once again, more Dragapult, Dusknoir. This one's got Sparkling Crystal for the Ace-Spec. And we got another Zoark here in day 2, played by Vini. So that's cool, yeah. I mean, this is a cool deck, right? I like the idea of Zoark right now, man. Wish I played it, man. No Darmanitan. It's got the Venture Bomb, the Picnic Basket, double Janine to power up your stuff. You do have Petron, I guess, which you can build up with Janine, too. It's like an extra attacker. Another Grimmsnarl Frostlass. Oops. I think I already looked at... Yeah, okay, hold on. I already looked at that list. Sorry, my bad. Another Flareon. And we got another Garchomp here in day 2. This one does have the 1 monkey, but up the line of the Rose Raid a little bit, up to 3/3 line of Rose Raid for the extra damage. But yeah, it's cool, man. No Crispin, though, I guess, to build up. Yeah, I guess no Dark Energy. He plays 4 Luminous. That's cool. Another Dragapult with the 1/1 Dusclops. Another Gardevoir here. Another Grim. Oh, look at that. Ian Robb was on Grimmsnarl. Look at that. All right, then we got Jackson Ford, the Pulsar Goat himself, who... You know, all the 60s still did good. I mean, the deck still made 2 of them in ASIM, so it's cool stuff. All right, what else do we got here? If it wants to load, there we go. Below that, we did have another Goldengo. It was another Draclo Goldengo, the Dodengo deck. This one's got Picnic Basket and the Watchtower, the 2 tech cards. I heard a lot of talk of this weekend within Goldengo was the Picnic Basket and the Watchtower. Another Straight Pult here, the 1 of Maractus, and the 2 Monkey Dories. And then we got another Dragapult Charizard here, no Shiyu. Another Garchomp in day 2, so more Garchomp in day 2 than I thought there was. This one does not run Monkey Dory, though, just opted to go all in on the Rose Raid for the extra damage boost. That's nice. Cool stuff, cool stuff. Cool to see Garchomp in day 2. Quite a few of them. Not gonna lie, quite a few. Another Pult here. Then we got more Raging Bolt. Another Joltik box. Yeah, pretty straightforward list there. It's got a Vitality Band, though. Another Raging Bolt below that. Yeah, a lot of the Raging Bolt lists are going to look the same. We're going to be probably getting the territory here. We're going to be looking at a lot of the same lists. We got another Spathra deck. Or another Spathra Gardevoir. Tech inclusion, I should say. Another Raging Bolt below that. And then, got yet another Goldengo here. Or did I already look at that? I might have already looked at that. No, I don't think I have. Bro, all the decks are just blending together. It's crazy. More Zard Pult. Another Frostlass Grimmsnarl deck. And then we got another Zoark deck here. This one, ooh, super unique, is a Zoroark Terapagos deck. Okay, wow, this is spicy. This is definitely a different take on Zoroark. No Darmanitan still, but does have the Reshiram and the Terapagos, I guess, is your extra attacker. It's got Counter Gain, Glass Trumpet. That's a really interesting concept. Yeah, that's a really cool 60. And I guess, like, you get the extra addition of attacking for weakness with Zoroark. This is a really unique deck. That's really sick. I love to see it. This is a really, really cool Zoroark deck. Nice. A lot of Zoroark technology this weekend, not gonna lie. We saw, like, the more normal end Zoroark, and then we had, like, the Zoroark Reshiram bomb deck, and then we see that Terapagos build. That's sick. All right, I love the innovations. Love it. Another Raging Bolt. We got another Sarah Ledge here. Might be the same. They're similar. She's got the Rev Room still in there and stuff. Another Joltik box. Another Pulsard. Pretty cool stuff. Got the Shiu in there. Another... I already looked at that. Frostlass Grimmsnarl once again. All right, what else do we got here? We got another Raging Bolt. And then we got Azul with his Grimmsnarl. So I think he posted this on YouTube saying that he was going to play this to NAIC, and he did. So there you go. All right. Another Flareon deck with the one of Volcanion, which does help against Pikachu, and it does let you do a little bit of extra damage too with the burn, which is nice. And get around Fez, obviously, which is like the big reason why you play the Volcanion in there. So that's really unique, actually. Cool. Brent Tonneson, running back with Guardy, did play the Cleffa. Kind of basically what he's been playing already. It's got the Klefki in there too. All right, nice stuff. All right, what else we got here? We got Rowan, who's on Pulsard. I think he played this too, and he won the Masters Cup with this deck. It might have been the same 60, actually. He's playing the same 60 as everyone else was playing. Then we got another Raging Bolt, another Grimmsnarl. It's got the Taskiri and the Maractus and the Cleffa. Actually, there's no Budu in the deck. That's actually very interesting. No Budu in the Grimmsnarl deck. So I guess trying to be, more disruptive with the Maractus, I guess, instead of the Budu. Another Pulsard, another Raging Bolt, and then... below that, we have a Poison Archaludon. So one Archaludon at least made day 2. We'll have to see if any of the bomb bills made it in day 2 here. But we did see one Poison Archaludon day 2, which I think was still pretty solid. I mean, the damage output from Archaludon is nice. Doesn't have a bad Raging Bull matchup, which is like the most played deck in the room. And you can get some cheeky donks with Peck Run. So not bad at all. All right, another Pult Dustnor. He's got the new upper. Another Guardy here. And then we had another Sarah Legend day 2. Look at that. Also playing the Rev Room. But this one had Legacy Energy as the spec as opposed to Blender or Secret Box. So that's interesting, I guess. That's an extra energy yet. And it obviously offsets Surprise Trade, which can help too. So that's cool to see. Another Pulsard here with the Shiu. Another Dodengo with the no Dustnor. Did have the League headquarters in there, though. Played by my boy Dan Zhao. So look at that. So yeah, my friend Dan was in day 2 with the deck. This is what everyone else in my room was playing. I was playing the Dragapult. I had the League headquarters, not the Watchtower, though. So that's cool. Yeah, look at that. Look at that. All right, sick. All right, what else we got here? More Grimmsnarl stuff. Also playing Taskiri. And another Grimmsnarl with the Maractus this time. The Gardevoir. Another Dragapult Dustnor. Then, yeah, another Dodengo deck here with the Picnic Basket and the Artisan for the Stadium Tech card. All right. So we're, like, pretty far in. And, again, there's so many decks. We're going to just skip over a lot of these decks here and just kind of go through some of the cool stuff that stands out. Like, for example, another Wall deck in day 2 here. All right, this one's not as heavily teched out, it looks like. Just still have the Cornerstone, the Frigoraph, the Double Milotic, the Monkey Dory, the Hero's Cape. I mean, it's not terrible. We might still go a little bit more to Grimmsnarl without, like, the more healing options, but it's still cool to see a couple Walls in day 2. I wasn't expecting that at all. I didn't think Walls was well-positioned for this tournament whatsoever, but it's crazy to still see it in day 2. Another Dengo Pult here with the Watchtower, Jaming Tower split. What else stands out? We have another Terror Box here in day 2. Yeah, pretty normal Terror Box list from what we saw from the past format. It does have a Bravery Charm. I guess that's one difference, but I mean, Terror Box is, like, still okay. Again, if you're dodging all the Shaman, it's not too terrible. Not too terrible at all. Another Dengo here with the Pidgeot. This is okay. This was like the other Goldengo Pidgeot deck that we were seeing, or the other Goldengo list we were seeing was like playing it with Pidgeot instead, which isn't a bad engine. Overplaying like Draclo because you're getting any card you want with Quick Search. If your opponent's not respecting the Quick Search, they're not respecting the Goldengo. If you're either drawing a lot of cards and you're also getting any card you want, if they go after the Pidgeot, you're still obviously doing a lot of shenanigans with Goldengo. So cool stuff. It's a very unique Goldengo deck. Another Pengo. Another Pengo. What does this one have? Watchtower still. Yeah, makes sense. This one was another Goldengo Pidgeot. Yeah, there's a few of these in day 2 from what I saw. I think Ola Blisso was playing the deck too to the tournament. All right, what else we got here? Are these more Pidgeot stuff? Okay, this was like the straightforward Goldengo deck with the Picnic Basket and the Monkey Door. Triple Pokegear. Another Pengo with or the Dengo, I should say. No Dragapult, but it does have a Klefki. I thought we were playing Klefki too. You got to play more than just one, I feel like. But yeah, the Klefki is good against Raging Bull, which again is like a shaky matchup for Goldengo, obviously. What else do we got? Any other cool decks here? Scrolling through a couple of Garchomps here. My boy Anil did make day 2 with Garchomp, which is kind of crazy to see. So let's see his list. Yeah, double Monkey, Fez, double Rose Raid. So opted to play like the 2 split of these 2, the Rose Raid and the Monkey Dory, the triple Power Raid, the unfair stamp base spec, Power Glass. Yeah, cool stuff. Nice to see some Garchomp in day 2. We had another one below it. This one did not play Monkey Dory, though. Just opted for the Rose Raid instead. It's cool stuff. Another Toedscruel here in day 2. Similar to, obviously, we saw, like, Ray Chen play. All right. Another Goldengo. Was this, yeah, it was Dracula Goldengo. It was the Rigid Band. I heard a little bit talk of Rigid Band, too, to help against Flareon, Chiyu, and against Raging Bull. I'm not sold on Rigid Band, but it was still not a terrible card to have in the deck, regardless, for those matchups specifically. We had an Archaludon Zoroark in day 2, so a couple of Archaludon decks made day 2 here. See the other build, the Archaludon variant. Haven't seen the Bomb build yet in day 2, which is kind of crazy. But yeah, the Zoroark build still not bad. If you get a lot of draw, you're pretty consistent. Not sure you're doing it in a Grimmsnarl, though, because like they have so much spread in Devo against your Zoroarks, but you know, it's a pretty strong deck regardless. Just gets the job done. Goldengo with the Scizor and the Klefki and the Venture Bomb. They all played all the tech cards. Venture Bomb, Picnic Basket, Watchtower, Jamming Tower, Rigid Band, Petrol, Klefki, Scizor. I mean, sometimes you gotta do it to get the job done with Goldengo, I guess. What else do we got here? Another Toedscruel in day 2. Another Terra Box made day 2 here. There was a Flareon deck, actually, with a little bit of Terra action. The Cornerstone and the double Wellspring Mask Ogre Pond. So it's more of like a Flareon Terra Box deck here. So, yeah, that's cool. Instead of playing Keel Mask, I mean, you got the Leafeon in there, right? So I guess it makes sense. We had a, what's this? An Iron Leaves Future Box deck. This is kind of spicy. Valiant Iron Leaves Future Box. I mean, Future Box is still, like, a deck that can do well. Like, I'm not surprised to see one in day 2. It's more of an Iron Valiant deck, it looks like, but it does have the double leaves, which the double leaves is pretty important to have against the Grimmsnarl matchup. That's a very cool deck. Kind of want to make a video on that. I haven't done a Future Box video yet in the new format, so that's cool. Might give this one a try. I'll have to look into that. What else stands out here? Another Toedscruel with a Tropicos in there with the Area 0. That's interesting. If Tropicos gives you an extra backup attacker as a basic. Another Sarah Ledge. Got the Blender in there. Okay, we had one Ethan's Typhlosion day 2 here, and it was the Pidgeot variant that we were seeing going around here. Double Victini, Secret Box, Gravity Mountain, yeah. We might actually see Typhlosion get better next set when we get the Silver Bangle reprint card. So Typhlosion actually might become a very good deck when that Silver Bangle comes back. So definitely keep your eye on Typhlosion going forward. I don't think the deck's going anywhere anytime soon. We had a Blaziken Zoroark in day 2. That's kind of cool. I think Omnipoke was playing this deck actually to the tournament. Yeah, it was Blaziken with the 2/2 Zoroark. Not playing the Dragapult, but does have the Zoroark in there, which you can still use the Dark Attacker to help against the Gardevoir matchup with the Reshiram in there. So yeah, really awesome stuff. Some really cool Zoroark innovations this weekend. And then you have the One Piece Blaziken, which kind of makes up for not having the Darmanitan. We had a Blissey in day 2 here. Blissey Monkey Dory with the Frigraph and the Cornerstone. So a little bit of wall action in there. It does have a Murkrow in there with the, what does this Murkrow do? I gotta click on this. It's got Torment and Deceit. So the one Team Rocket Pokemon we've seen so far in day 2 is Murkrow. Again, will we see a Mewtwo in day 2? Haven't looked yet. We'll see if one made day 2. If not, the first Rocket Pokemon to make day 2 would have been Murkrow, which didn't expect that one to happen, but let's see if at least one Mewtwo made day 2. We had an Iron Thorns Crustle in day 2. It's a deck that I've actually seen a little bit of. I don't hate the idea of this. I did a video on Crustle recently, but I have seen a lot of lists in Japan playing it with Crustle and Iron Thorns instead of like Okie Dokie or whatever, so that's interesting. It made day 2, so it didn't do bad at all. Interesting stuff. Another Dengo with the Dracloak. What else do we got here? We got a Dragapult Pidgey on day 2. That's cool stuff. What else? All right, we got our Archaludon with a Ghost. Okay, I like that idea. Dustin Archaludon, be a little bit more aggressive, take extra prizes, allow you to take one-shots a bit easier with Metal Defender, where you can put extra damage on with Clops or Dustin, or even playing the Max Belt and the Black Belt to help with damage. All right, there we go. Answers my question. There was one Mewtwo in day 2 here, so at least one Team Rocket Mewtwo deck was able to make day 2 at NAIC. Didn't do as good as maybe some people wanted it to do, but at least one was in day 2 regardless. That's awesome to see. See, here we got the Spidops, Articuno, Mimikyu. Nothing too crazy. Got the one of each with Secret Boxes. You expect a couple Pokegears, amongst the Transceiver to find your supporters a little bit more easily. So that's awesome. So at least one made day 2. Another Dengo with the Pidgeot. Yeah, this Dengo Pidgeot deck goes crazy. What else is in day 2? We got another Ho-Oh Armarouge in day 2. This one's a bit more streamlined. Not over-the-top attackers. It's all the Durant, the Clefairy, Hands, Wellspring, Gouging Fire. Minior is in the deck, though. I'm not sure what the Minior is for. Iron Hands, maybe? Not sure. More Pengo. Same 60 as Jishin. And, ooh, what is this? Spite Ops. Ooh, it's just a straight... Okay, it was still a Mewtwo deck, but it did have the Spite Ops. I guess only one of Mewtwo's. I guess try to lean more into, like, the other attackers, like the Mimikyu and the Team Rocket Spite Ops. I guess Spite Ops is a pretty good attacker by itself, right? So, makes sense, I guess. Cool. Another Dracloak Dengo. Ooh, what's this? Yo. We got... Okay, all right, here we go. We got Jared Grimes with the Hydrapple decks. Hydrapple did make day 2. This is definitely an interesting one. I've yet to do a video on this new Hydrapple. I was going to make it a Bad Deck Friday video, but now that I got day 2 at NAIC, I might not have to make this a Bad Deck Friday deck. So definitely have to try out this Hydrapple deck 100% for a YouTube video. Really cool stuff to see Jared in day 2. This is like a, once it goes back here. Whoops. Really cool 60. It's like a Festival Lead hybrid Hydrapple deck. So it's not really trying to be like all in on the Hydrapple. You still have the idea of a Festival League deck. You still have the Thwacky in there and the Dipplin and stuff. And you still have, obviously, being a grass-type deck is good against Grimmsnarl. So that's awesome to see this deck in day 2. That was crazy when I saw that. We had a Roy Moon in day 2. It was the Poison Moon deck here. Nice stuff. We got another Goldengo, another Dracloak Dengo, another Team Rocket's Mewtwo in day 2. So there's a few in day 2. This one's got the Clefairy in there to help against the Raging Bolt and the Dragapult. And then we got another Toad's Cruel, another Poison Archaludon in day 2. Just got a Monkey Dory in there. And then we got, all right, look at this. We got Garchomp, my boy Mitch Watson on Garchomp, same 60 as Anil. And then we had a Typhlosion below it. Let's see. Okay, it's Typhlosion with Dracloak. All right, no Dragapult, no Pidgeot, just the Dracloak engine. I like it. It's got the Victini in there, Picnic Basket, Double Gravity Mountain for extra damage. I like it. It's cool to see a couple Typhlosion day 2. I definitely expected the deck to do a little bit better, to be honest, but who knows? Maybe for Worlds it'll be better when we get a little bit better cards for the deck, right? More Dengo, Dracloak. More Pengo. Another Pengo. Another Toadskrull in day 2. So yeah, a lot more Toadskrull in day 2 than I would have expected. Cool stuff. Another Toadskrull here. And then, let's see here. We got another Goldengo with triple Dracloaks. A lot more draw. And then we got an Iron Thorns Crustle once again in day 2. So there's a couple of these Crustle Thorns decks in day 2. Kind of crazy to see, not going to lie. Maybe the deck's real. I don't know. It's kind of crazy. Definitely want to try that out, too. I have Quad Thorns, Bill, but not with Crustle, though. Because Quad Thorns is actually not bad in this format, but I'll have to try that out maybe for a video. And then finally, we got another Goldengo with the Zork. All right. The Zork draw. This could actually get better when we get Air Balloon, because you can start Air Ballooning your Zorks, right, to give them the free retreat, right? But it's cool to still see this deck in day 2. That's nice. So, yeah. Always love to see the Goldengo innovations. There you go. Those are all the decks that made it to an NAC. Now, I did say earlier I was going to look at the Seniors Division. We should probably do that real quick. Yeah, we did see Gabriel Fernandez here. Another IC. He's won NEIC, EYC, and LEIC. He won all the ICs. He's had the literal perfect season you could have in the TCG. And he's actually playing Charizard Pidgeot with the Monkey Dory. So, yeah, I like this a lot. I like the idea of Charizard with Max Belt right now. Like, if I was playing Pulsar this weekend, which I said I was going to do, I would have played it with Maximum Belt, because I think Max Belt is a very good ace spec right now, and especially with Charizard, it helps a lot against Dragapult and against Grimmsnarl. Charizard is just a really good card, and then the Max Belt makes it a lot more stronger. So that's really insane to see Gabe win another IC here. He was able to beat the Duskmar Pult deck in the finals. We go to the Juniors Division here, which was won by Pulsar. I think it was, the crazy thing about the finals here was like 2 siblings, and both playing Pulsar, so that was pretty funny to see. So that was awesome. Awesome stuff. There you go, folks. Those are all the decks in day 2 at NEIC. We did see a lot of cool stuff in day 2, a lot of unexpected stuff, a lot of cool innovations, and yeah, we see Gardevoir once again just dominate. Gardevoir looking like it's going to have a pretty good run until it rotates. I don't think the next like Black and White set's really going to make Gardevoir worse. If anything, it's probably going to stay the same. So we're still going to see Gardevoir do its dominance. Yeah, there you go, folks. There's all the decks in day 2. I'll leave a link to Limitless down below if you want to go check out any of the decks for yourself and try them out. Thanks for watching. Hope to see y'all soon. Definitely got to try out some of the decks here in day 2. Some really cool stuff I want to give a try. So definitely excited to try that all out. And I hope y'all enjoyed. And yeah, I'll catch y'all later. Bye-bye.